What's good, YouTube? It's Sos. Money insane. You already know the vibes. You feel me? We back with another reaction. Now, this is a Dan Schneider video. He did an interview basically trying to apologize for certain things that was in the All That show, Amanda Bynes show, and so on and so on. If y'all haven't seen that video, go to my last video on my channel and y'all can know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the Drake Bell video with Nickelodeon. So yeah, we about to watch that. Before I press play on this video, subscribe to my channel. You heard, put your chest in it. You know what I'm saying? Smash that like button, turn on your post notifications, which is the bell, so y'all can get notified every time I drop a video. So yeah, we about to watch that and react to that real quick. Let me just pull it up.
Hey, it's Boogie. I played T-Bo on Nickelodeon's iCarly. I got a chance to watch the Quiet on Set program, and I reached out to Dan to see if it was something that he'd be willing to discuss. I'm pleased to say that he said yes. Dan, how are you?
I'm okay. I really appreciate you reaching out and giving me the opportunity to talk to you about what we saw over the last 2 nights.
I'm really glad you're here because I believe this is important.
For sure.
We've got a lot of things to unpack. But before I dive into my list of topics that I'd like to discuss, is there anything you'd like to start off with?
Absolutely. Watching over the past 2 nights was very difficult. Me facing my past behaviors, some of which are embarrassing and that I regret. And I definitely owe some people a pretty strong apology.
Let's talk about the massages.
Okay.
Watching the content yesterday, it was disturbing.
So this man right here was getting massages from any coworker on set, regardless of what they was there for, what position they played at their job. Imagine you going to work, you feel me? You went to school and paid all these dues and everything just to be given this weirdo massage. 1 second, real quick. Hold up. Yeah, that was for the ones that y'all know who y'all are that have a problem with my smoke alarm. Y'all know who y'all are, but anyway, yeah. This is they was giving him massages, bro. Like yo, I wish my manager would talk about something. Yo, come over here, give me a massage. You bugging, bro.
It was wrong. It was wrong that I ever put anybody in that position. It was the wrong thing to do. I'd never do it today. I'm embarrassed that I did it then. I apologize to anybody that I ever put in that situation. And even additionally, I apologize to the people who were walking around Video Village or wherever they happened, because there were lots of people there who witnessed it who also may have felt uncomfortable. So I owe them an apology as well.
Yeah. Dan, talk to me about the writer's room. From what I saw, not cool.
No. And I don't mean to cut you off, but if I can cut right to the chase, let me just say, no writer should ever feel uncomfortable in any writer's room, ever, period, the end, no excuses. Most TV writers, comedy writers have been in writers' rooms, and they are aware that a lot of times there are inappropriate jokes made and inappropriate topics come up. But the fact that I participated in that, especially when I was leading the room, it embarrasses me. I shouldn't have done it. And I can tell you why it hurts really bad for me. I remember very clearly my early experiences, my first experiences in the entertainment business. I was green, I was scared, I was excited. It meant the world to me that I was getting those opportunities. And I went in and I got lucky because they were great. My first couple of experiences were fantastic. And the fact that I didn't pay that forward to every employee that walked through my door, it hurts my heart, because I should have. And I wish I could go back and fix that. In the writer's room, there's no doubt that sometimes those jokes went beyond the pale, and I said things that went too far, or made practical jokes that went too far, and that was wrong. And that was because, you know, I was an inexperienced producer. I was immature. Wouldn't happen today, but I'm just really sorry it happened.
Yeah. Now, we know you've had a lot of success over 2.
Do y'all believe him? Y'all let me know in the comments. Does that sound sincere and genuine? That apology?
Decades. Thousands of people have worked with you, for you.
Okay.
Let's speak directly to the people who did not have a good experience with you.
Okay. I would like to speak to those people, because I hate that anybody worked for me and didn't have a good time. You know me. You've been on my sets. Look, I've had some employees that have worked for me for 10 years, some more than 20 years, who would work with me again. But not everybody. There's still a significant number that didn't have a great time working for me. So my batting average isn't nearly high enough in that area. And the way they wouldn't get the best of me is that I would let the pressure of doing 40 or even more episodes per year, I would let that pressure get to me, which a good boss should never, ever do.
Was there specific things that you were doing?
Sure. I would snap at people sometimes. I would be snarky when I could have given them a nicer answer. I would not give people the time that they needed. I would be in too big a hurry to get on to the next thing I had to do. And watching that show, it made me, there were so many times I wanted to pick up a phone and call some of those people and say, I'm so sorry, and let's talk about it. And I wish you'd had a better time, and I wish I could have shown you a better experience.
Yeah. Now, you've written hundreds of episodes. Thousands of jokes have been told.
Yeah.
But currently where we are, some people think that some of those jokes are inappropriate for children. What do you think of that?
All these jokes that you're speaking of, that the show covered over the past 2 nights, every one of those jokes was written for a kid audience because kids thought they were funny and only funny. Okay. Now we have some adults looking back at them 20 years later through their lens, and they're looking at them and they're saying, oh, I don't think that's appropriate for a kid show. And I have no problem with that. If that's how anyone feels, let's cut those jokes out of the show, just like I would have done 20 years ago or 25 years ago. I cut it. I want my shows to be popular. I want
just like how he would have done 25 years ago. I don't buy it. I don't buy it, buddy. I don't believe him.
Everyone to like. The more people who like the shows, the happier I am.
Yeah.
So if there's anything in a show that needs to be cut because it's upsetting somebody, let's cut it.
So I think it's big for you to say, with your work, if it's viewed as that today, you don't have a problem.
Cut it. Cut it.
I mean, that's a solution.
But he's saying he wouldn't have a problem to cut it now, but you already made all the money off of it. You already made the money. Now you're gonna are you gonna pay these people for their troubles that you gave them on set, bro? Like, you gonna do that?
The last thing I want to ever do is put any content in a show that's gonna upset my audience and make them want to turn off the TV. Why would I ever want to do that?
That makes sense. I want to give you an opportunity to kind of elaborate on something.
Okay.
The thought process from the series is you had the power to just write a joke, and no matter what, it's going on TV. You just had that type of power. Is that true?
The notion that I had the power to just produce whatever I wanted and have it air is completely false.
Okay.
There were many, many levels of scrutiny. Okay. We had executives in LA. We had executives in New York.
So two coasts
Okay. of approval. Coasts. Yes. And by the way, approval at every stage, really. Okay. And I'm talking about wardrobe. I'm talking about makeup, sound, sets, dialogue, jokes, everything.
Now, when you say approval, these obviously that's a hierarchy, not your colleagues or people in the room. Okay.
No, not my colleagues. No, these are my bosses, and then their bosses, and then their bosses. And they're approving all of this stuff.
Okay.
Okay. And we're also shooting it in front of all sorts of adults and caregivers and the set teacher and the families. Everybody's watching it. And if anybody had said anything, hey, we don't like that, that's not appropriate, then it would have been cut out.
Now, I'm gonna push back a little bit because the series painted you in this way that you were just the guy that was doing what he wanted, and people were afraid to confront you about things. So just humor me, say that was the case. What would have been the ultimate way to...
Okay. If nobody on the set, if all of the dozens and dozens of adults that were on the set, if they didn't say anything, if my bosses said, if they insisted, you got to make a change here, you got to cut that, I had to do it. I had no choice.
Got it. But this next one.
But hold on. No. But that wasn't the question. The question was, people was afraid. Well, he didn't say exactly how I'm saying, but what he's basically saying is people were scared to speak up. That's why nobody spoke up. He just talked right around that. You feel me? Like, bro, like nobody. Listen, I'm not buying it. Y'all let me know in the comments. Are y'all buying this?
Bro,
nah.
Being a new father, I wouldn't be opposed to my child being in the entertainment industry. It doesn't matter what age. Yeah. Seeing some of those on-air dares, seeing it now from where you are now in your life, what do you think of that?
I think that some of the on-air dares went too far. I think they pushed the envelope too far. Not all of them, not most of them, but some did. Nickelodeon wanted to do their version of Fear Factor. At the time we were shooting All That, so I was tasked with doing these on-air dares with the All That cast. So we get with the writers and we come up with all these ideas, and it's hard to do because we don't have the budget of Fear Factor, and we can't put the kids in dangerous situations like the adults are put in. So it was hard to come up with stuff. But we would come up with all these ideas of dares they could do. We would give them to the network, and they would say, tell us the ones that were okay.
Right.
Those are the ones we shot. Those are the ones that at the time.
You see what he's doing right now? What he's doing, he's trying to let it be known that Nickelodeon was cool with it. Like, oh, I did this, that, and the third, and they approved it. Or I said that we could do these certain dares, and they wanted, and Nickelodeon wanted Fear Fact, bro. Like, okay, he's probably is right, but still, like, you come up with the material. You feel me? You could be buddies with any higher up in Nickelodeon. And they just be like, all right, whatever you say, Dan, go ahead, do what you think is best. That could have been that, like, allegedly, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like,
I had no indication that any kid ever had a problem with them. But when I was watching the show over the past 2 nights, I now know that there were kids who did have problems with the on-air dares. And it breaks my heart. And I'm so sorry. I am so sorry to any kid who ever had to do a dare or anything that they didn't want to do or weren't comfortable doing. We went out of our way to make sure they were safe and that everything was done properly. But if a kid was scared and didn't want to do it, kids shouldn't have had to do it.
Yeah.
Period. The end.
Right.
And if I had known at the time, I would have changed it on the spot.
Now, we also saw the series highlight 2 former writers' viewers, 2 women, who spoke about a wage discrepancy. Now, I know that you don't divvy out salaries. Talk to me about that part.
Well, you're correct. I have nothing to do with paying writers. I never have.
Yo,
I've never made a writer's deal. And
this
all
guy,
the writers I've been in
this guy, I have nothing to do with the pay, bro. Like, it's like he try to take responsibility for things, and then some things he just don't want. Like, he try to put it off on the network. You know, like, bro, like, it's crazy.
writer's room with, I never even knew how much most of them were getting paid.
Yeah, but we saw these 2 women who were writers for you sharing one salary. How does that happen?
It's very simple. There's a common practice in television when hiring writers. If you have a spot for a new writer, sometimes you'll go to 2 writers and say, hey, if you 2 new writers for your first job are willing to share a salary, you can both have the job. They have the opportunity to say, yes, that sounds good, or no, thank you.
What?
2 women writers.
Bro, why would you going for a job and then they be like, oh, you're gonna have to share your salary with another person? I mean, people, they, of course, the women probably like, yeah, this is Nickelodeon, this is Dan Schneider, we gotta do what we gotta do, but you gotta have more respect for yourself. Like, what? Sharing the salary, crazy.
I did another show where that teaming was done with 2 male writers and they split a salary. I did another show where it was a male and a female writer and they split a salary. So,
and these are all first-time writers.
All first-time writers looking for their first gig.
Got it.
So just because they first-time writers, you have to finesse them like that? Like, what? Oh, good, they're first-time writers, so they can. Is that how the writing business go? Like, if there's any writers watching this right now, y'all let me know. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that normal? That's crazy.
They also highlighted 2 Black actors who said that they felt overlooked. Now, I want to be clear. I'm never going to speak on anyone else's journey. Yeah. I can talk about my experience, how my experience was with you.
Okay.
What I saw prior to working with you. But again, I don't want to speak on anyone's journey. I saw you be...
Bro, he better not say you was very professional and nice to me. If he say this, I'm going to lose my mind right now. What he about to say, bro?
Honored for diversity in your work.
Yes. And the reason for that is Diversity has always been very important to me in my shows. If you go back to the very first Nickelodeon show I ever made, that's very evident, as it is in the second one, and then the first movie I ever made
Yes.
for Nickelodeon.
Yes, right. But also, isn't there like a policy in certain, I don't know if it goes for this, but in certain companies, they have to hire a certain amount of black people? Like I think so. I think there was something like that along that line or something like that. Or like some companies get like a grant or something like that for hiring. Like it. I got to do my research on it, but I'm just saying. I'm not saying this. It wasn't this case, but a lot of you never know, bro. Like we
Which starred
chat.
Keenan and Kel, and every show I did after that had a lead black actor in it. I'm very proud of that. It's very important to me. And not only am I proud that they were in my shows, I'm exceptionally proud of the achievements they've had beyond my shows, and they've gone on to bigger and better things, and that gives me a great sense of pride.
Oh yeah,
Well,
he talking about Keenan and Kel. Okay, Keenan and Kel. They definitely. They still successful now. They just did a good burger like not too long ago. I actually watched it and I enjoyed it. I really did, bro. But I guess Dan. Still, we don't you weird.
something that really kind of
Still
bothered
weird.
me was how they depicted your relationship with the cast.
Yeah, it bothered me too.
Yeah, just me being there, I knew the dynamic was trust. I understood that in
Bro,
situations.
this is his friend, bro. I'm about to stop watching this. This is his man's. He got his mans to come and interview him and to help him look good. And then it's one of us. You know what I'm saying? Then it's one of us. And he got dreads. Yo, bro, like you supposed to be woke, bro. Like he's really buying this. This is his man's, and honestly, this interview, no, this Dan needs to get interviewed with somebody like Gail. What's her name? I think her name is Gail. You know what I'm saying? Is it Gail? Yeah, you feel me? But yeah, she needs to get or when Wendy was popping. You know what I'm saying? When Wendy had her, everything was going regular for her. You feel me? Like he needs to have people like that interviewing him. Like not his man's that he gave him a few seasons on the show. Like nah, like it's
Where they
making
may
me
have
tight.
had turmoil, whether it be with their families, whether it be other castmates, they came to you versus how they made you look. With that said, Amanda Bynes was brought up in the series and
Oh
her
yeah,
emancipation. See if
yeah.
it was
Oh,
something
what I
that you'd be
do?
willing to discuss.
Hold up, my fault,
Did
yo.
everything I could to make that show go away. My producer partner at the time, we would call and say, "This is not a good situation."
Okay.
So
Wait, I skipped
adult
it.
actresses at the time, one who I
I,
knew was fairly nearby, that person was able to go and pick her up. Starred Keenan and Kel, and every show I did after that had a lead black actor in it. I'm very proud of that. It's very important to
he's
me.
very
And not
proud
only
of
am I proud
that.
that they were in my shows, I'm
Yeah,
exceptionally proud of the achievements they've had beyond my shows, and they've gone on to bigger and better things, and that gives me a great sense of pride.
I
Well,
messed up the
something that really
video,
kind of
guys.
bothered me was how they depicted your relationship with the cast.
Yeah, it bothered me too.
It bothered him. Bothered him. It's not about you, man. All right.
Yeah, just me being there, I knew the dynamic was trust. I understood that
What?
in situations where they may have had turmoil, whether it be with their families, whether it be other castmates, they came to you versus how they made you look. With that said, Amanda Bynes was brought up in the series and her emancipation and how you were involved in that. Can you talk to us about it a bit?
Sure. Amanda was between the ages of 16 and 17, and she wanted to get emancipated from her parents, which was a fairly common thing with successful young actors, at least at the time.
Sure.
And she wanted that for herself. So she turned to her team, which included her lawyer, her agent, her manager, her publicist, me, because she included me as part of her team, thought of me that way. We supported her. She tried to get emancipated. It ended up not working out. She didn't.
Well, since we're here, let's stay.
You supported her, so you went against her parents because she's an actor. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what money I paying her or whatever. She was still a child. So for you to like, do he even have kids, bro? Like, if he had a kid, he could probably understand a little, but thank God he didn't. You know, if he didn't, I don't know if he do or not. I don't know. You feel me? But why would you encourage a child to I want to leave my parents? Like, if you could clearly see they're not harming her or anything, why would you be pushing that? You listen to it. Like, who's the adult here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
Here for a moment. There was also an incident where she had ran away from home, if you would. Can you talk to us a little bit just to clear the air of exactly what happened in that situation?
Yes. One night, it was very late, well after midnight, 1 or 2
Yo,
in the
I ain't gonna lie. This thing right here is looking like it say so. It's like if you turn your head to the side, this look like a S, this look like a O, and this look like a S, and they just forgot to finish the S right. I ain't gonna lie. It's probably like, what is this? Some fancy, might be a award or something. I don't know.
I answered. It was Amanda. She was upset. She was in distress. She had some conflict with her parents, I think her father, and she called me. I was immediately concerned about her safety. I called someone who I knew was fairly nearby. That person was able to go and pick her up. Then I knew she was safe. I felt better. She ended up being taken to the police.
Well, regardless of what some people may think, I think it's only positive that you are there for people when they need you. That said, let's talk about some of the things that have just been swirling forever.
Okay.
You were banned from your...
Yo, he paid him a check, a nice amount of money, bro, to be this nice to this man. If they not friends after this, I bet you he probably haven't talked to this guy in years. Gave him a nice little check, and now he's here trying to defend him on the low. Like, that's crazy, bro. And he was one of the actors in the shows. I don't know if it was all that, but that's OD.
Never happened. That is a false rumor.
What happened?
Add it to the list of false rumors.
Talk to me. What happened?
What's false?
They were adult actresses at the time, and they had
Don't go back.
Talk to me. What happened?
Never.
They think. I think it's only positive that you are there for people when they need you. That said, let's talk about some of the things that have just been swirling forever.
Okay.
You were banned from your set.
Never happened. That is a false rumor.
What happened?
Add it to the list of false rumors.
Talk to me. What happened?
They were adult actresses at the time, and they had their own specific reasons for not wanting to do the show anymore. I'm not judging that. It got tense, and what they don't know maybe is I did everything I could to make that show go away. My producer partner at the time, we would call and say, this is not a good situation. Okay. So I decided I'm going to do what most showrunners do, which is you're not on the set. There's a director there to shoot it. I'll go up to the writer's room. I'll work on the next script. But because everybody was so used to me caring about every detail of every show so much, for me not to be on the set, maybe some people thought I got banned.
So it was more of an assumption because this guy's usually here and now he's not.
I don't know if it was an assumption. I don't know if somebody thought they were making me look bad by saying I got banned from the set. I have no idea.
Okay.
All I know is I was never banned from the set.
Yep. The darkest part of this series.
He was banned from the set. That's yo, he still want to take control, bro. He's trying to control the narrative. It's crazy, bro.
Discuss child predators. Now, I want to make sure that we clear a couple of things up.
Okay.
Brian Peck was not hired by you.
No, I did not hire Brian Peck.
Yo, when
this was a Tolan Robbins production?
Bro, the only thing he took responsibility for was the massages. That's it. And that's because he couldn't. There was nothing he could even talk his way out of that. It was right then and there, bro. Like everybody saw you sitting there getting a massage, bro. Telling people to massage you. You feel me? That's like the only thing. Everything else, Nickelodeon did this, that, and the third, and this was got approved by them, and blah, blah. Like, that's crazy, bro.
And when Drake and I talked, and he told me what had happened, I was more devastated by that than anything that ever happened to me in my career thus far. And I told him, I'm here for you. What do you need?
Right.
Which Drake mentioned in the show.
And then y'all remember he just said, "Oh, from my understanding, we was there. It was trust on the set." He said the word trust, but then they just acknowledged that Drake Bell got violated by Brian Peck. So therefore, the trust was broken, right? Bro, these people, listen, man.
Show that we watched last night. And next, I heard that he went to court when this guy was being tried, Peck. And when Drake walked in, he saw 50 people sitting on the side of the courtroom supporting Peck. A lot of them pretty famous. Of course, Drake was devastated that happened. And even more disappointing, 41 of those people.
But was he there? Did he support Drake? Was you on Drake's side in the courtroom? I don't think Drake said it was me. He didn't say it was him, his mom, and his dad, and Dan. He just said him and his family. He didn't say anything about Dan, bro. So he told you what happened, and you ain't. Oh, unless it was after, like unless it happened, and then it was after. No, it wouldn't even be after because famous people had to write letters and stuff like that. So yeah, like so basically he didn't show up. He wasn't even there for Drake. He didn't even show up. That's crazy. That's
wrote
crazy.
letters for Peck, character letters, praising him for who he was and asking for leniency. And they knew that he was guilty. They knew he had confessed to some degree, and they still did this.
That's but he didn't show up though.
Adults would do that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people know this.
But did you go though?
But Drake's mom, a lovely woman who I stay in contact with this day, she came to me at the time and she said, Dan, I'm not good with words like you are. And would you help me with my speech for the judge? And I said, of course. And I did.
Yo, this man makes me mad, bro. He make me mad, bro. Now his mom asked you to help with the speech. So you can help with the speech, but you can't show up at court to support him while he in court as a child. You feel me? Got to testify against that man. You know what I'm saying? The violator. You feel me? And it was only him and his mom's, and he wasn't there. Like it happened. It happened and because of not because of him, but it happened. You know, that's that Brian guy was part of his camp. You feel me? And you didn't even show up at court to support Drake, but you was so sad and you over here crying in the interview, talking about Drake mom's help, asked you to help with the letter, bro. Man,
And he ended up going to
it's
prison,
getting me
serving
tight,
time.
bro.
And yeah, that was probably the darkest part of my career. And here's the kicker that I really don't get. After he got out of prison and was, to my knowledge, a registered sex offender, he was hired on a Disney Channel show. I don't understand that.
But did you speak out like don't hire that man? Did you say that? Like, yo, bro, you hired this man and then he violated one of the kids on your stage or whatever. You feel me? Or on the set, right? Your set. And then that man goes to jail, come back out and get a job with Disney. Did you speak up and say, "Yo, don't hire that man. He did this when he was employed by me." You feel me? And you didn't do that. That's crazy.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, man. Are you okay? You want to take a minute?
Yeah, I'm all right. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we really unpacked some important things. We set the record straight on a lot of things.
No, y'all
Before I
did.
let you get out of here,
What?
I appreciate the vulnerability that you use in knowing that there's definitely things that you would have and should have done differently.
Mhm.
Is there anything that we haven't discussed? Anything that if you could go back and navigate the journey differently, what would that look like?
Yeah, there's definitely things that I would do differently. One,
He didn't address the whole thing with him and Amanda, how they was, always spending time with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what he didn't. This happens when you get somebody, your man's or your friend or somebody that need a bag, a quick check from. You feel me? To get to interview, they should have had somebody that had nothing to do with Dan to do the interview. So this was very distasteful. But yeah, y'all let me know in the comment section, you know what I'm saying, how y'all feel about that. Before y'all head out on this video, subscribe to my channel. You heard, put your chest in it, you know what I'm saying. Smash that like button, turn on your post notifications so y'all can get notified every time I drop a video, which is the bell. You got to turn that on, and I'll see y'all on the next video. Let's get it.